Welcome to my next Lost. Season 1 episode review video. Before I get into that, though, pretty important, if you are caught up to the point where I am, and rewatching or watching Lost, or you're just not entirely sure, then you definitely need to take the initiative and pay attention to the episode's title, which of course I'll mention as well as put in the description. If that happens to be the case, you find that you're not caught up, it would be my recommendation that you don't watch this video any further to avoid any potential spoilers. I've already seen Lost 3 times. Wanted to rewatch the show to let it sink in and resonate as I've been binging it before. It's one of my favorite shows of all time. However, I'm not the only one that's watching Lost right now. The legendary Crazy Coffee Man, who you see in my comment section for various videos, is actually watching Lost for the first time. So join us in the journey and let's discuss this awesome, amazing show. Just don't give any spoilers other than the episode that we're talking about. With all that said, this will be Lost, Season 1, Episode 22. The title of this episode is called Born to Run. And this will be my review reaction recap after just finishing watching the episode. So a young blonde-haired woman pulls up at a motel. The license plate on her vehicle says Nebraska, but the woman quickly changes it to an Ohio license plate from the assortment stashed in the trunk of the car. Grabbing a towel and shampoo from the maid's cart, the woman enters a room that just been made vacant, adding a do not disturb sign. She puts dark hair dye on her blonde hair. As she showers, she is revealed to be none other than Kate, obviously, as the excess brown hair dye runs off her hair into the water. At the hotel's office, she picks up a letter under the name of Joan Hart. As Kate reads the handwritten note in the car, she begins to sob uncontrollably. Out at sea, back on the island, Kate plays with the toy airplane that she's obsessed with. Her train of thought is interrupted by Charlie, who talks about Drive Shaft and how the raft will save them all, meaning he can make millions on his comeback gig. And as they watch some of the survivors working on the raft, they witness an argument sparked by another survivor, Dr. Arzst, who we just see now, but apparently he's been there the whole time, played by one of the most underrated people in Hollywood, although you probably don't know his name, Daniel Roebuck. Now, Arzst tells the group the monsoon season is coming, meaning winds will change southwards towards Antarctica, as the raft needs to head north to reach shipping lanes for a chance of rescue. He says the raft must leave immediately to avoid nature turning against them. The news hits everyone hard, especially Kate, who chases after Michael. She wants a place on the raft contesting Sawyer's spot and tries to present herself as a better candidate. A term on Lost that we will find out more about in future seasons. I guess that's a spoiler. Michael won't allow it. He says that the raft is full and Sawyer bought his passage fairly by giving crucial supplies for the first raft's construction. She says you're taking Walt, and Michael says he knows what's best for his son. At a hospital, flashback time again, Kate walks down the hall carrying a large bouquet of flowers, and she poses as a delivery girl asking to see Diane Jansen. On her way to the room, she sees a sheriff and uses the flowers to cover her face. Kate leaves the hospital without giving the flowers to the patient she wanted to see, and then in the hospital parking lot, Tom Brennan gets into his car only to be surprised by Kate, who was hiding in the back. He calls her Katie, and she tells him that Diane is dying of cancer and she needs his help. Sun wants Jin to talk to her. Jin says he's going. Meanwhile, Saeed leads Jack into the jungle, and with Locke, they let him in on their secret. The hatch has now been partially dug up, and the three decide what to do, or need to discuss what to do next. Sawyer begins to complain about some of the organization and planning going into the raft, irritating Michael. Sawyer calls Michael Chief and Jin Sulu, of course, Sulu being a Star Trek reference. He says maybe Sawyer isn't the right man to come with them, considering he knows virtually nothing about sailing or survival at sea. Further down the beach, Kate is burning the picture of Joanna's passport so that she can use it should the raft be successful and the group is rescued. Sawyer arrives. He tells Kate he knows she was the marshal's prisoner on the plane and she will be captured if rescue arrives. He calls her Pudding, but her secret is safe with him and she will not take his spot. He starts to leave, but as he goes, Kate says if she wants his spot, she'll get it. Don't mess with Kate. Walt passes Michael some water as they work on the raft. They talk about what they'll do when they get rescued. Suddenly, Michael stumbles, collapsing and ordering Walt to get Jack. Walt finds Kate and Son, and Kate takes up the pursuit to find Jack. At the hatch exterior, Locke mentions he's known about the hatch for about 3 weeks. Locke, Jack, and Saeed discuss opening it. Saeed cautions against opening it. He says there is no handle on the hatch door, so perhaps it was never meant to be opened from the outside. As the group heads back, Kate catches up to them and tells Jack about Michael's collapse. And then after examining him, Jack concludes that there was something in his water and finds residue of a substance in his drinking bottle, suggesting foul play. And we know that Kate likes to poison people now. And then at Tom's house, Kate looks at the family photos on the refrigerator as Tom speaks to someone on the phone about needing to book an MRI scanner. After finishing his phone call, Tom talks about his son and his wife, and Kate seems upset that Tom is with someone. And then he promises that Diane will get a scan in the next few hours, so they have little time to kill until then. In the moments that follow, Kate comments about whether it's still there. Though Tom is reluctant, Kate says they may never have this opportunity again, and then the pair drive out to a bare cattle field where there's a huge tree, and then here or there they count steps from the tree to begin to dig. Back on the island later, when Jack catches up on Michael, or checks up on Michael, I should say, he inadvertently reveals the truth to him. A livid Michael immediately suspects Sawyer. However, Hurley accidentally reveals to Locke that Kate was the fugitive, causing Locke and Jack to argue about keeping secrets from each other on the island. Meanwhile, Charlie plays his guitar to Claire's baby as Claire cuts Charlie's hair. He offers Claire a place to stay in Los Angeles when they get rescued. At the caves, Kate inquires after Michael and asks whether his place on the raft is now open. Jack, of course, accuses her of poisoning him, and Kate says, "Do you really think I'm capable of that?" And Jack says, "I don't know what you're capable of." And then Kate leaves in disgust. Sometime later, back on the flashbacks, Tom offers Kate a beer as they continue to dig before they manage to hit metal. Kate pulls out a box, and inside is a time capsule with a number of childhood objects, including a red baseball cap, a baseball, and Tom's favorite, toy airplane. They also find a tape recording, which they play in the car. Recorded in 1989, a young Tom and Kate comment on how they will be married when they find the capsule in the future, and they also talk about running away together. During this, young Kate additionally mentions that Tom knows why she always wants to run. And then the tape is stopped. The two do kiss. Pulling away, Kate apologizes as Tom says they better get to the hospital. And then at the other end of the caves, Walt finds Locke changing the bandages on his leg. He wants Locke to know that he didn't poison his father. And when Locke grabs Walt's arm, suddenly Walt stops, telling Locke to not open that thing, much to Locke's confusion. Like, wait a minute, you know about what? At the beach, Sawyer gives Michael some Pepto-Bismol, And Michael blankly tells Sawyer that he's off the raft, accusing Sawyer of poisoning him. And then in retaliation, Sawyer openly reveals to the entire group that Kate was the fugitive on the plane. He shows everyone that Kate has poor Joanna's ID. Joanna's the one that drowned that Boone went after, in case you didn't know. He says Kate only cares about herself and would go to any length to escape. At the ward, it becomes, back to the flashback, it becomes apparent that Kate just wanted a moment to see Diane in private before her surgery, and she needed Tom's help to do this. With that final time alone together, Kate is reunited with her mother and apologizes for everything she has put her through. Instead of a warm greeting, however, Diane screams for someone to help her, and then Kate runs from the room, but is grabbed by a security guard, whom she escapes from by hitting him with his own walkie-talkie. Tom finds her, and the two head for his car. The police have already created a barricade to prevent her from escaping. She shouts for Tom to get out of the car, but when he refuses, she drives straight through, clipping the police car and drawing heavy fire from the sheriff. Though they manage to escape, it is not without cost, as Kate realized that one of the sheriff's bullets has hit and killed Tom. So that's why that airplane is major significance to Katie, or to Kate, as she's normally called. With little time, though, Kate is forced to run from the car, leaving both Tom and the toy airplane behind. So again, that's why that airplane is much significance to Katie, and that's why she wanted it when she took it out of that safe deposit box. Then Kate, back on the island, admits that she was the criminal, but denies poisoning Michael. Michael won't listen, reinstating Sawyer as the fourth passenger on the raft. Everyone moves out, leaving Kate alone with her toy airplane. The raft is quickly being put together to set sail as soon as possible, and Jack approaches Sun. He tells her that he knows she is behind the poisoning, and she intended to poison Jin rather than Michael. Sun admits to everything. She did not want Jin to die at sea and just wanted to make him temporarily ill so he would not go. And then Jack says her secret is safe, but she needs to say goodbye, as Jin will be going. As night falls, Sawyer finds Kate, telling her he's back on the raft. Kate's glad to hear it. Michael will set sail tomorrow. He says he only did it, what he did, in revealing the truth because he couldn't afford to lose his place. Kate asks why he needs to be on the raft so badly, and Sawyer replies that there's nothing on the island we're staying for, and then Kate tells Sawyer to be safe as he leaves. Walt and Michael sit by the raft. Walt reveals that he destroyed the first raft. He says he didn't want to leave the island at first. Walt says he's really sorry, but Michael isn't too mad about it. He says they can stay on the island if Walt wants, but his son says they need to go. Meanwhile, Sun finds Kate, telling her Jack knows, but not about Kate's part. The poisoning was all Kate's idea all along, and Sun says Kate was only trying to help her, but the look on Kate's face suggests another agenda, and Sun says that she always thought as a child that meeting the man she loved would make her life happy forever. As Kate stares out in the dark, she adds, "Yeah, me too." And that's what ends this episode of Lost. So really good episode. I'm going to give this one an 8.8 out of 10, and obviously the character of the episode is Kate. The other standout characters, in my opinion, are going to be Sawyer and Jack, and a very honorable mention to Arzt. We have not seen the last of him, but he was only in the beginning of the episode. So you've heard everything that I have to say. Now it's your turn. If you're a fan of Lost and you want to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, please consider Hulk smashing the like button, share the video with a friend, put this video on any one of your social media platforms. Don't forget to sound off in the comment section and interact with me and the legendary Crazy Coffee Man. What would you score this episode? Who would be your characters of the episode? Male, female, however you want to do. And then last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button. If you're watching the video anyway, subscribe to the channel, join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special. And you never know what you're going to see on JDev TV.